it's not only the gang, but it's like a messed up environment that you in. So you just a part of the environment. You just to the environment.
Did you ever think to yourself, I don't want to do that, or did you think, this is
Like after being incarcerated so long, you think like stuff you done was dumb. But when you was younger, you didn't think. You just was wild. But when you get incarcerated, you become smarter and you just can focus and just realize what you was doing. Realize what you was putting your family through. So it's like that.
They live together, they do the groups together, they spend their free time together, all in the same unit, living together, working towards that same mission.
Well, it's something we started in the Department of Corrections. Has been a big problem here, especially in the juvenile facility. The gangs, the gang problems, the kids just getting up in groups and causing problems. A lot of these are wouldn't be legitimate on the street, but once they come to DOC, then they become part of this. A lot of violence, some extortion problems in regular population. So we just try to address this need. The kids who are identified as being members, we bring them down here. We kind of isolate them from the rest of the population. They wreck by themselves. They eat by themselves. We try to cut them off and really focus on, our program consists mostly of independent thinking, make them see the realities of what they're doing in these gangs. I mean, they say they're claiming they're helping out the community, but what they're really doing is they're causing damage, whether it's selling drugs or just robbery and crime like that.
All right, well, we're gonna start out just by talking about your role models growing up. Who did you look up to as you were growing up, Coleman?
Looked up to my big brother and my cousin mainly. That's what I looked up to.
What do you look up to them for?
Like my big cousin, he was out on the streets though. He was doing negative stuff, and my brother, he was doing positive stuff. He stayed in school and all that. That's what he was doing.
Who did you end up following though?
My cousin. That's all.
I mean, why is that? Why was his lifestyle better than your brother?
It seemed like a lot of people knew him. I don't know. He seemed like he had the better respect that's doing the bad things.
More respect from the community, maybe. At least you thought so.
Yeah.
Was your father around growing up?
Yeah, my father was around. Then he got incarcerated when I was around 5, probably in '98. Caught a drug charge, but he got out 5 years later though.
Mm-hmm. Has he been in your life since then? Or
Yeah, he been
in and out. Yeah. Thompson, who do you look up to growing up?
Couple of friends that ain't around no more.
What kind of friends? I mean, older?
Yeah, they was older when I was younger.
Why did you look up to those guys?
I was younger, got involved with the wrong crowd.
But why? What about your friends that you ended up looking up to? What attracted you to looking up? I mean, what attracted you to that kind of lifestyle?
Started doing things I thought was cool, like making a lot of money and stuff, having fun, easy money.
Illegal things for the most part? Or?
Yeah.
Who'd you look up to, Moss?
Growing up, right up till I was 10, it was my family, my grandma, my auntie, my mom. But she was around, my big sister. Then from 10 on up, I just went over here, started hanging around my mom's boyfriend, and we just went all out.
What do you look up to him for?
But he had a lot of respect, and he had a lot of respect, and we ain't never really need for nothing. I mean, he was just a man of the house, and I used to always think, well, I want to be like him one day. And,
what kind of things did he do to earn that respect?
To be honest, I really couldn't tell you. His outside life was probably from our family, in our house, so he just brought in money or whatever, and we used to just sit in there, count the money, we used to take it, and he was restless and stuff, so we just...
You guys talk a lot about respect, respect of your neighborhood, respect. What typically do you guys think that people in the neighborhoods respect?
In the neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
Probably...
They know, knowing what they do best, and good at it.
Yeah.
People respect them for that.
If it's illegal or legal?
Yeah, both ways.
But I mean, what kind of growing up did you guys look for that, would earn... respect is kind of a broad word. I mean, what does that mean to you? Why do you respect somebody?
When I was younger, I looked up to people, respecting people by I don't know, I always liked the money or something, or shoes or something. So you was that person in the neighborhood that got a lot of money and had a lot of respect. Like with certain people, they got a lot of respect. People know their boundaries. So you feel me? Like things that they do, give them their respect in the neighborhood. So people know to respect this person by things that they done. Yeah, like that.
That respect or fear, though. You know,
I mean, like, cause some people they got respect that was growing up in my neighborhood. It wasn't much as fear. It was always giving back to the community. That's why, like, I was around. They was doing negative things like selling drugs and stuff, but they was giving back to the community though.
like what were they doing to give back to the community?
Like holidays, buying bikes, gifts, Thanksgiving, Christmas, buying turkeys and all that.
For
It was
poor
back.
families? Were
Yeah,
they also
about families in the community.
were they
Yeah.
also selling drugs to these families?
Yeah,
That
also.
maybe they had to provide.
Yeah.
They had to provide because there's no one else to provide.
Yeah,
So is that really doing a good thing or a bad thing if you're selling dope to mom and dad and then buying
Yeah.
their kids Christmas?
negative things? Yeah,
I mean, it's cause and effect. If they didn't sell, maybe someone else would have.
yeah.
It's not really a positive thing to do it. There's
No.
things they could have done differently.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'd agree. But your role models growing up, like what kind of things did you look up to? When we talked about money, nice shoes, nice clothes, and just having cash, driving nice cars. What else did you look up to? Like what types of qualities? I mean, let's say he's brave or he's
Like somebody
smart.
not somebody
What are the-
like somebody that's not gonna let you down, tell you to do good in school and stuff. Like all my role models, they did it, but then I look at different stuff. They was doing negative things too, so I was kind of confused coming up.
Well, actions speak louder than words. I mean, you can say one thing if you do something else. It's harder to follow what you're saying.
Somebody you can depend on, like as far as you need somebody to talk to, they there, you know what I mean? Whether it's family or friends, but
Was your father around growing up?
not really.
Thompson, was yours?
No.
So none of you had father figures. So you had to find alternative people in the community to look
I looked
to.
it up to older people because I ain't never had a father, so I look up to some of my
You
older.
never had someone to teach you how to be a man. I mean, you had your mothers or grandmas or sisters, but there's no one to teach you how to be a man.
Had to learn on our own.
You were younger. Did you guys make good choices about who to try to be?
To be honest,
I
did.
did, but I didn't.
I didn't really make a choice to pick a role model other than my family, and until like my mom came home and was her boyfriend, and I ended up like just paying attention to him, like, and just seeing how he provided for our family. You know what I mean? We never really needed anything, and then I just like respected him because he was just like the man in the house, and like as I got older, you know what I mean, I should just think and I used to put it all together and like, oh man, we bring this in from doing this, and you know what I mean. Then I used to think, well, I can do that one day. And end up trying and never got caught for it, but still here though.
Eventually, you got caught up in something because y'all are here. What types of, whether these men that you looked up to, the negative influence in your community, of course, they had the girls, the women, the money, the nice stuff, made you look up to them. What else? What else was so intriguing about that? What else was so, you're a young kid, of course. The important things aren't always going to be as important when you're 10, 11 years old and you're picking these people. But what kind of things excited you about that type of lifestyle, besides just the obvious, the monies and the clothes?
At the time, I didn't know where it was gonna lead me. So if I'd have known, you know what I'm saying, it was gonna lead me to where I'm at now, I would never. I'd try something else.
You had they weren't going to get caught. I mean, you don't see the people going to jail. You see them out there living it up.
And then when you do it, you the one end up.
Well, I think everybody gets caught eventually if you do it long enough. Colin, what kind of things did you see that just excited you about this type of lifestyle and to get involved with the gangs?
Like the care they have for people though, like giving back, and like like the
Is
cars.
that real though?
And like the cars,
How they
Yeah.
get back and care for you?
like cause I had like my father, he used to sell drugs, and like he was like before he went to prison, he was a good father. He used to like when holidays come around, he used to do a lot of things for us, like our whole family. He used to do a lot of things. force.
Then he went away for quite a long time.
Yeah, then
Was he able to do anything for you then?
Nah.
If there's a man who, let's say, worked at McDonald's, you know, he worked 40, 50 hours a week but brought home that check. It wasn't great money. You weren't wearing the brand new shoes or driving a new car, but he came home every week with that paycheck, and he was there every weekend or every other weekend. You think that would have done better than what your father had done?
Yeah, because then he would have been around more. He'd been around a lot.
But that's the risk with that type of lifestyle. You can get a lot of money really quickly and provide well, but there's that risk that you're going to go away for 10 to 15 years.
You ain't got nothing for him.
There's nothing a man can do for you while he's locked up. I mean, you have to go see him. Did you ever have to go see your father in prison? Did you ever visit him?
Yeah, but then when he got forward, like, cause he's like in Virginia, I couldn't go visit him.
What was that like visiting your father in prison?
I was young, I really didn't know. I just missed him a lot though. It hurt me. Yeah, I just missed him a lot.
Your father wasn't around at all, or was in and out?
Wasn't around at all.
Where was your father was?
He was in, like, they used to stand me up a lot though, but
Not really be there like he should have been.
he wasn't never locked up or nothing, but I mean, he just, I don't know if it was my mom's side of the family that kept him away or he just wanted to live his own life. I mean, I was really confused, you know what I mean? I couldn't really say nothing, but I still loved him to death.
Any of you guys have kids yet?
Yeah, I got a son,
How old's your son?
2 years old.
You been in his life?
Nah, not really, man. Not really.
Are you planning on being in his life?
Yeah.
What changes do you have to make sure that you can stay in your son's life? Because your father wasn't around because of choices that you made, and you're not around because of choices you've made at this point.
Like, basically just calming down, just staying focused, being with the family, get a job. Just mainly focus on my education and getting a job and stuff. Have a career or something, not having to do what my father did.
You will make it different
And
for your
basically
son?
learn from my mistakes, yeah. Have my son have a good role model to look up to.
There's a cycle that comes along in a lot of families. Your dad was locked up, now you're locked up. If you don't make changes, your son is going to be locked up.
Yeah.
I mean, you realize that. If you don't break the cycle, your son has not a very good chance of staying out there and being successful. If you make changes now while you're young, there's a good chance your son can lead a good life.
Yeah.
If you're there and you show him how to be a man and stay out of prison. We want to talk about the psychology. Okay, so why did you guys, you had some family issues and your fathers went around. Did that link you more to the groups, your negative groups in your neighborhoods? I mean, make it easier for you to want to be with these people?
What was wrong with people was just like, it wasn't the matter of just like being defined or nothing. It was just like basically for respect and just to have fun. You know, as a kid growing up, I mean, in my neighborhood, you ain't had nothing to do.
Just boredom, and it's a glamorized lifestyle. I mean, you do get respect in a way from the community. Thompson, what about? We've also, you always want that respect. Now that you've been locked up for a little while and you see things differently, I hope. I mean, do you still see that same respect? Respect the same people you do before getting locked up, or do you respect a different type of person now? Or some things have changed?
Different.
Different how?
Because it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to explain.
I mean, do you have more respect for just the working class guy who goes to work every day and is home for his kids on the weekends? Or, I mean, do you still respect the guys with the money and the cash and the flashy cars?
Now, it's the other way around. I respect the man that's doing right. But before I got locked up and all, I was the man getting the money. Had all the respect in the streets and stuff.
Now, what kind of changes do you have to make to be more like that man who gets up and goes to work and
Don't get involved with the streets no more. Be yourself.
focus on yourself?
Yeah. Start your own life. Don't live nobody else's life.
You think those may have been some of the mistakes you made to get locked up as you were living, maybe not for other people, but you let other people have a large influence on what you did with your life?
Yeah.
Coleman, who do you respect now?
Myself, it's just my family, cause and yeah, like you said, the people that's working hard to to take care of their family. Because the people that's out there selling drugs, I feel like they just caring for themselves. They don't got no care for their family. Something happen, they either get locked up or killed. Then it's gonna come back on their families. Like you're saying, like he was saying, I respect the people that go out and work hard for their stuff.
What kind of changes do you need to make sure you're more like the second person who's gonna be able to take care of his family?
Just
You have a child, so
yeah, just have faith to never give up. Just have faith to put forth effort, get a job or something. Yeah.
Mas, what do you? Is your idea of who you respect changed since you've been here? Who do you respect now?
It's always been family, you know what I mean? But more than ever, I respect my dad, you know what I mean? He been trying, you know what I mean, just to stay clean and not only worry about me here, but also worry to take care of his family on out. And I seen him, you know what I mean, improving, like, as far as being a father, you know what I mean? He's trying more. You know, I just appreciate it.
You guys were asked to read that article about the former addict who's been helping. Tell me a little bit about that.
He was a former addict, and I guess he went to rehab, and I mean, came clean, and he wanted to help former vets that was out there the same way he was, and help them change their life around and get back on the right track.
He was also older though, doing the same things we doing basically. Got caught up when he was older though. I guess when he was younger, he never learned. So he just got caught up when he was older, just changed his life. When he was older.
And he's starting to get back to his community now. He's really trying to help other people who've made the same mistakes he had. I think you guys will have the opportunity to have younger brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, you have that opportunity to hopefully maybe affect in a positive way in their life before they come to this stage. Coleman, how old's your brother?
He done made 21, October 20.
Do you have any younger brothers?
Nah, my brother got killed.
Thompson, you have any younger brothers?
Yeah.
How old's he?
I got a 12-year-old brother, 14-year-old brother, 7-year-old brother.
They been in any trouble yet?
Stepbrother. Huh?
Have they been in any trouble yet?
Nah. The brother that's right underneath me, he got locked up a couple times. He basically learned his lesson. He ain't been locked up since.
Do you think, especially younger, the 12 and the 7-year-old, that you'll have, if you go out there and you do right for yourself and you show them,
Yeah,
you know what you're supposed to, you have a good chance of being able to keep them out of places like this. No one wants their family to be in a place like this, do they? I mean, it's not fun. Mas, what about your family? You think you can have an effect on your little brothers?
I have a little brother that turns 18 this month. I have a little brother that's about 16, and I have a 10-year-old little brother.
Have they been in any trouble?
The ones turned 18 years.
The younger ones, they're still at a point where they probably made some mistakes, but not enough to get them locked up. You think when you get out of here, you have a chance to go out there and at least be honest about what it was like in here? But it's not a pleasant place to be. I think there's a little bit of in some of the communities, there's a glory in like prison is all.
I mean, it's gonna feel good telling my little brother about what goes on here, why he don't want to come. But then also I'm gonna get annoyed because he's gonna keep asking questions.
Well, yeah, but to help to encourage him to stay out of a place like this because it's not a place where anybody wants to be.
Exactly.
Is what he has to do to stay out of places like this. You guys were all from Indianapolis. You're not from the same hood.
No.
You're all kind of different sections of the neighborhood.
Too.
Huh?
We're all from different sides too.
And out there on the streets, typically y'all didn't get along. I mean, if you're on the streets, if you had your own little section and your little section, you ran into each other. What's going to happen, or what could happen?
It's not necessarily like that.
Well, no, but what could happen? I'm not saying there's a gang war every time you run into each other, but there's some beefs, there's some disagreements, maybe minor, and maybe some do blow up into some violence on
It's a
occasion.
matter of
Correct?
respecting it and everything.
But you wouldn't typically associate with this guy out there, or you wouldn't at all, most likely. And you wouldn't probably associate with this guy unless you'd hang out with your own group, your own neighborhood, rather than hang out with these two, right?
I mean, if they seem cool, you know what I mean, and we all meet on the same page, like all of our heads are the same, I mean, I probably mess with a couple times, but you know what I mean, it wouldn't be a person I mess with on a daily basis, though. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't really trust him because I don't really know him.
Now, what's it been like to be forced to interact with each other because you're not with your neighborhood, with your regular people, Now you're all kind of thrown in together with limited contact to other people. What's it been like to get to know these
A lot of
people?
misunderstandings. That's a lot of misunderstandings.
Have you learned anything that's been, say, better to you about other people? That, you know, he's from the east side and you're from the west side. Have you learned anything about each other?
No matter where we're from, we all people.
Mm-hmm.
We all human.
Maybe you're more the same than you are different, no matter what neighborhood you grew up in. He probably grew up with some of the same problems you did. He experienced a lot of the same things that you did growing up, and you probably are a lot more similar. If you just, talk a little bit more about that, how you've learned.
It's like, it's not necessarily family problems, but at the same time it is, because Coleman lost his brother, and at the same time I lost my niece. So, you know what I mean? Like, we still don't come to an agreement on why they was killed or, you know what I mean, nothing like that. But, you know what I mean? We experienced the same thing, because it was both basically family. We can encourage each other, like, don't worry about it, you know what I mean? Keep your head
Kind
up.
of try to help support each other when you guys are having your bad days.
Like he was saying, his father went around for most part. My father went around too, and we can just try to help each other walk through that and just help each other become a better man. It's like, cause our father figure went around, so who the man in our life? But by us coming together, we can show each other.
Help each other, try to get on the right path, definitely.
Yeah.
And out there, before you guys got locked up and maybe put over here together, would that have happened, you think?
Nah. Cause sometimes
Some of the other
bad
kind
things.
of, the other stuff that's really not that important to get in the way of, maybe being able to talk with someone that you feel you have the same kind of connections, the same kind of stories, than you may not have. You guys want to expand further?
I was about to say the same thing. He said he took the words out of my mouth.
Like, all of us in here, I can say probably for most of us in here right now, the only reason why we got into like dealing drugs and anything is trying to provide for our family, because our family struggled. It wasn't necessarily just for the respect or just to do it just for anything else, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of survival.
It was a way of survival. There was other means. I think you realize that now, but that was the easiest way and the most convenient way to make those means,
It
because
seemed like it was so hard to go out there and get a job and stuff like that, all the paperwork and stuff.
when it's available and there's someone willing to cut you in on some of the action, it's easy. It's easy to get involved in that. It's easy to maintain that, and it's easy to. Because every one of you are returning to where you got locked up from, right? So those same outside influences, the same neighborhood, are going to still be there. How are you going to be able to avoid those pitfalls and stay away from the drug dealer in the corner, the guy who wants to sit out there on the stoop, and because you all need to go to school and get a job, and it's going to be hard with those outside influences who don't want to do that yet. You said get a job.
Yeah, like, I don't know if I'm going back to the same environment, because my mom's talking about moving and stuff, but if we do, I've been locked up for a while, so some people gonna remember, but a lot of people ain't just gonna, remember me. So I'm just act like I don't know most of them, like how they do when I'm locked up. So I'm doing when I get out, just act like I don't know.
Where are you look at for a job? Like, where are you looking for? What kind of things do
My
you want to
uncle's
do?
got side jobs and stuff like I'm just doing side jobs.
Like construction and stuff like that.
Cause I ain't got no GED or nothing. I can't just get out there and ain't that easy.
What I was gonna do, I was gonna try to finish high school, whether I can get a diploma or a GED or something, you know what I mean? I always like playing football. I mean, me and my little brother always like playing football, so I know if my little brother just see me successfully make a football team, you know what I mean, he can just think that he can make it too, and he just follow my footsteps, and we can just move on further. And then if it don't work, as far as me going to finishing college football or going to NFL or anything like that, you know what I mean, I just have a college degree, you know what I mean, I can just go find me a job.
What are you gonna do, Coleman?
Like, man, I'm just gonna be solo, like mainly focus on my son or something. And probably like if things are going too bad and I feel like I'm gonna end up in the same environment, I'm just gonna get away, go to job corps. I've been thinking about going to job corps.
That's
Or
not a
something
bad idea.
like that.
Just to remove yourself from the environment until you can completely fix yourself.
But while I'm waiting and stuff, grab my GED and give me a job somewhere like Walmart or something, Home Depot or something. Then go to job corps, get a trade or something like that.
Well, I think that's an excellent idea that you can do. Just maybe while you're early, you have made some improvements and started to fix your problems in here, but out here you're going to be reintroduced to all those problems that you had on the outside that you don't have in here. You don't have drugs in here. You don't have this stuff like that. You're going to be reintroduce these problems to the community, and maybe look to have someone with another family member, a job corps, another place you can go just to get away, get a different environment just for a little while until you can get back into that normal process of being on the outs and dealing with those distractions and those temptations. So I think that's a great idea. Do you guys have family that you could go, I'm not saying far away, but a different, a different community, the different side of town or a different small town that you can get away with, for a couple weeks just to slow down?
Yeah, that's better though.
I said my man.
It's got just to have that alternative just to get, if we do need to get away until we can get your life back exactly where it is, because it's going to be hard. It really is. You guys are all 18 years old when you're walking out of here. You're a grown man. You make the same mistakes you did that got you here, you're going to go to prison. So it's going to be real hard and real easy for you to screw up. So you got to make sure that plan is detailed and you have alternatives when their new problems come up. I like that job corps idea a lot. I think that can really give you the job skills you need and get you out of Indianapolis for a little while until you can get those job skills and find a good job.
Yeah. Then you always you have a trade, a backup plan or something. Yeah.
What would be the biggest thing you feel you've learned from the GROW program and Miss Meals? Like, what's the one thing that you will, when you're out there 20 years from now, it's still going to resonate that this was a good life lesson I learned, or she helped me learn better while I was in this program?
Basically becoming a man, not getting involved in the streets.
Kind of living for yourself
Yeah.
and not the group thing. Okay.
Basically, I learned things I can do different that stop me from coming back in here, stuff like that.
Like what things? Try to expand on that a little bit.
Like we were saying, finding a job and staying out of the streets, so we want to come back in this environment. Choose my peers wisely, who I hang around with.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think choosing who you hang out with will be. If you hang out with trash, you'll end up in the dump.
Yeah.
If you hang out with people who are trying to do the right thing and are working hard or in school, you have a better chance of being that guy who's working hard and being in school. Moss? So one thing you've learned, you think, the most important thing?
It was the advice that I was given by Ted Berg, Council Courtney, and Miss Mills also. That I could be a leader, you know what I mean? I used to always, lead myself, but there's always people following me, and I wouldn't always lead them in the right direction. So, there's always going to stick with me that I can be a leader. And hopefully I'm just going to try to change my ways and really try to be a leader. It's like my kids in my neighborhood, family, you know what I mean, just period.
Being a leader, that's interesting. Did you guys, what do you consider before you got locked up, leaders or followers?
Leaders to me was the ones making all the money, and the followers was the ones that was trying to be like the ones that was making.
So at the point you got locked up, were you kind of more in the follower? I mean, you didn't have an original idea, did you?
I wouldn't say that I was a follower, but I was saying I was doing dumb things that that people look at me as a follower. But deep down inside, I knew my problems and I knew what I had to do. But I could have went out.
Would you say you were more of a follower now? Have you gotten some leadership skills and got some maybe?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
You've gotten directions where you're not
basically
forced to follow somebody else?
Yeah, I admit that.
What about you, Thompson?
I say both because, me, looking up to the people, making the money, doing the bad things, I'm doing that, but at the same time, my little brothers looking up to me, see me doing the same thing, so they probably want to do that. But now if I make a change, then it'll be all good.
You can be a leader and have your brothers follow you towards something better than this.
Something better than what I was doing before I came.
I think the difference between being a leader and being a follower. Leaders are people who are going for a thing. They're leading people to a positive thing. Followers, some people are born followers. They just picked a poor leader. But leaders, you can choose your own path. As a follower, you guys really couldn't choose your path. Your path led you here. No one chose this. But this is where that path went. But you were just kind of following blindly because you were younger and you just didn't know better. Now, at a point that maybe, hopefully, you have learned some leadership skills. You can be a leader. You're capable of, at the minimum, leading yourself to whatever you want to do with this life. If you want to be the manager at Walmart, you can do that. If you want to go out in the suburbs and have a white picket fence and 6 kids, you can lead yourself there. You can't follow someone there. You have to lead someone there. That was great. I'm very proud of all you guys. Did a really good job today. I'm glad that you were honest and open. Just make sure you read the articles for the next homework assignment and do the worksheet that I handed out. Thank you.
Thank you, too.
We can't get too big of a group because then they all end up. If you get a smaller group and you can get a counselor who's really good with them about almost forcing them to talk or encourage them, what comes out of these kids is amazing. They are so honest and so helpful and will tell you anything you want to hear. Once they get to that level where they're comfortable with you and they know that you're not going to use this to their advantage, that you really just want them to talk about it and maybe see things in a different way. So you just have to have a really good rapport with them. You have to have some kind of understanding about where they've been, what they came up through. I always use how I didn't have a father figure growing up. My father committed suicide when I was 14, so I do have that common link with a lot of these kids about the fathers, and I think they open up with me when I share that little bit about myself. So these kids will kind of talk to me more about some of their father issues that then leads into the other stuff about why they got involved with the gangs or why they were selling drugs for the first time.
A lot of the kids are really, buying into the program and are really doing really well. And they've been interviewed. We go through Release Arc and we see some of those kids. And what we have noticed is that when they first come into the program, it's so new that we haven't been able to do a lot of statistics for the program yet. But one thing we have been able to do is measure the amount of conduct reports and gang activity that they were in before the program. After they complete the program, then the number of conduct reports and incidents in that gang activity has gone down.
For the GROW program, we try to get the kids on, get back on the right track. A lot of these kids growing up and come from the larger cities and the poverty areas, they're focused on the wrong things. They see the guys with the flashy cars and the money and the girls, and they see how they're getting that, and they honestly follow that and get involved with the gangs and the groups. They're all doing the illegal activities and the things that are hurting their community. We try to kind of slap that thought they have, these kids, these people are great and are helping, and try to make them feel that they're hurting their communities and they're hurting their families more than they're helping. During group, one of the kids said, well, at Christmas time they come over and bring a turkey. I'm like, well, didn't this people also sell your mother drugs and end up in your father's in prison because of dealings with him? It's like, well, yeah, but he brought me a turkey. And they kind of have their what's important out of whack of what reality is. We just kind of try to attack those beliefs and get them to look at things maybe in a different way and see what the reality of their situation is. And those groups and those activities are doing much more harm than any good they could ever do.
Well, see, let me hear that most of them they just want somebody to talk to. A lot of them come from a single parents family, and which I did too, and they're missing a father figure in their life. And that's what a lot of the kids and the treatment teams we have, they wanted to let their feelings out and get them into this type of environment. And most of the time they do. They just have nobody to talk to.
Yeah, in most of these lives, there's never been a strong male role model in these kids' lives. They don't know what that is. They don't have a father figure or any kind of a male authority figure who's been in any sort of positive way. It's always mother or grandmother or older sister have been raising them. And women can't raise men to be men. You do need some kind of man to teach them those things. Women are wonderful parents. And they're capable of so much. But there's some things, a man needs to teach a son how to grow up to be a man. So we try to provide that with our custody staff and our treatment staff to try to show these kids the best way to be a man. Being a man means to take care of your family, but make sure you come home every night to take care of your family. And do it the legal way so you don't have to worry about going to jail.
Tell me about being nervous to go home.
You never know what's going to happen. You never know. You gonna try, but you never know what's gonna happen.
I'm nervous because it's going to feel weird when I get out. I've been locked up about 13 months now. So it's going to feel weird when I get out. And then when I get out, I just don't want to get back on the same stuff I was on. But I'm focused though, but I'm nervous too at the same time.
It's like the same thing with me. I mean, I'm so ready to go home, but I've been locked up almost 17 months. And it's like, when I go home, you know what I mean, I know it's just, I'm gonna be good for a couple months, and then it's like something just gonna go wrong, and then it's like somebody gonna need me, or, you know what I mean, just depend on me like how they used to, and going back to my old ways, rather it's for me or for somebody else. You know what I mean?
My hope is honestly that they live successful lives and never get in trouble with the law again, are great fathers and great family members, and they help other people. I know that's not going to happen with all of our offenders, but if we can help a few to get back on that path and at least stay out of trouble and get a good job and be a successful member of their community, that's our goal, just to get them off the groups and the gangs and the hood banging that they're doing that's hurting so many others.
Are you afraid that any, former guys that you were either in a gang with or maybe are waiting for you to get out? Or do you think that that's all sort of history now?
They are, you know what I mean? Like, the people you grew up with, the people you hang around, they treat you like family, you know what I mean? That's how I do my people. So, I mean, especially they waiting on you, and when you get home and they still doing the same thing, they ready for you to, oh, bro, you ready to do this, and you say, no, you know what I mean? People that I hang around, they gonna respect your decision, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, all right, bro, you know what I mean? So you got your mind right. And then other people would just, like, you know what I mean, talk about you and stuff like that. But to the point where it's like, yeah, they do miss you, like, you want you to come home.
The hope is for the program that they will get out of the gang and not be a part of that activity. We know that we can't change everyone and that everybody isn't going to be out of the gang, but we hope that some of those offenders will get out and learn that there's better things in life than being a part of a gang. Because if you talk to the kids, a lot of them will say, there's only two things that will happen to me if I stay in this gang, and that's either death or prison.